That was in the garbage can. Came on yesterday, did a video. It was mentioned to me that I should go ahead and watch Alchemy. So when I'm looking at the word alchemy, it's telling me something a little bit different. Alchemy. What can alchemy do? What's funny is that this letter and this letter are the same. When I draw the capital L on my keyboard, it turns out like this. When I draw the capital I, it turns out like this. When I create the small l, it turns out like this. So the I and the L are just like telling me I'm the same. So the L, which is the 12th letter, 1 and 2, which is A and B. B is telling me a few stories. Okay. If you create B this way, which is highly unlikely, usually they have a backslide to create the B. And I like to create the B this way with a bigger belly, showing me a small triangle and a bigger triangle. And this bigger triangle might be the one that creates my ace, and the smaller one might be the leaning ace, two leaning on top of each other. Or sometimes you can look at it as the bow tie, the sideways bow tie. And the only reason I'm drawing this is because this is my easiest way to draw that bow tie. A little bit different. One is bent, one is not. So you see that bow tie over here, that angle, the time clock. You notice the angle over here is also the same angle that would be over here, showing me just one leg. So if I had two L's in a different way, what would that show me? How would I create the other leg of the L? Or does this L with this line over here show you the old style of just creating the letter B or the letter D? And by creating these two, we have the two angles that we spoke about yesterday. And once they get a skull cap to them, or the skull cap to them, we would be creating the letter A. So we talked about this yesterday. Just going to draw this here and draw this here. At the same time, if I drew a line across like in the A, you would be looking at the H. And the H, this shows me this design comes out in hack and slash from the program Reboot. It's a big difference using these pens and using this other pen. These are Jamie pens. Here, look at this. Altered Images, Oklahoma Tattoo Parlor. That's what it is, right there. So this is what happens with the A. So what I wanted to talk about, I figured by the time I'd get through the one person in here, I would start with the alchemy. But I'm going to continue on in this. So the L being the 12th letter, and we spoke yesterday that, you see, this is the I that looks like the L. The L is the 12th letter. 1 through 12 equals to 78. G and H, the gateway to the heavens. But all you really need is, right? One way in. That's all you need is to go in. You don't go in, there are no outs. And you're in the bottom of the first. Or are you in the top of the first? That's a good question. Are we playing baseball? Are there 9 innings ending in 8.5 silver matrix? 8.5 innings ends when the home team is in the lead. When the home team's in the lead. And when the home team wins, you automatically get gold in the lead, and you end up with gold because you are the end result of everything that was in the pack. Everything that was in the pack, you become the end result. Just give me a break for a second. I'm going to get a little bit of water, or maybe soda water. Just give me a second. Went into my soda water room. I'm a very popular guy. At this moment, just to let you know, the first 6 minutes of the video, no one's here. It says one person, but usually the first person never speaks. So I'm not sure if it's a somebody or a nobody, but that's irrelevant to the fact. Another thing I wanted to show you is I'm not the only one with ideas. See that letter I, what you can't see and what you could see? Look inside. Just look a little bit deeper. Let's make this smaller. Let's add more around it and see the division. This line here, this space in between, it's going like 1 and 1. 1, 1, and 1, but 44. You see the 44? 44. This is just what is that extra leg to stand on? Is it a leg that comes from another part of the design? Upside down. You notice this one is upside down over here. Well, if there was one over here, this leg wouldn't actually belong. Unless it's part of another design I was looking at. Not really sure where that design is. I'm going to try and see if I can find that design. I created it today, and it was this design here. I saw some. Whoop, sorry, got to get that camera in the right spot. It was this design here, and I saw it somewhere. And I said to myself, oh my God, look at that. I can put a cap on that also. So that would be more or less looking at my F letter. So if I cap off my F letter, easier to do it this way, and then say the cap is over here. And that was my F letter. So this is the down, this is the up, and then this is the letter, which actually looks like a P. Maybe it's a cardinal. And at the same time, if you really take a good look, it shows distance. Oh my God, no, let's start at the top and go all the way down. What angle would this have to be to make that lucid image seem that it's, you know what I'm saying? Would it be different if I had it from here and then from here, and then we'd say, oh my God, it's going all the way down. This one looks really down, and then this one looks further away. It's a flag. What does it look like? Because this can be square. When you look at things on an angle, it could be square, it could be something else. So is this my real F? Is this the F without the cap? So is that the A? Coming along with I. Right? A coming along with I. And now, how do you get that? How do you get that? Well, I'm turning this sideways. I'm going to take this whole thing, and I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to say on this, what I'm going to use is the 2 lines from the A, or the lines from the N and the Z, and just turn it sideways and then add it on. How would that fit? Would it be the same thing if I added it sideways? Irregardless, we're going to talk about 82, which is 28, or 82, EIGHTY. The 80 equals to 49. We add on only the Y, it becomes 74. And this becomes 7 by 7, 77 Christ, and 74 Jesus. the mathematical equation. And there's another way to create this. 36 and 13, how do we create that? 9 by 4, 36, 9 plus 4, 13. There's a lot of 13s. There's other 13s that come together that go into here. What about the in-between 13? The 8 and the 5 come together, and then the 7 and the 6. So the 7 and the 6 are in between the greatest distance in numbers, 49. The 9 and the 4 is 13. The 7 and the 6 is 13. The 5 and the 8. The 5 and the 8 is a representation. I'm not sure if I can do it this way. 94, 85, and 76. So the center of this is 4, 4, 4. Hi, Christina. How you doing? So this is this numeric value here. And the top part would be 36 and 13. And the bottom part would be 13 and 42, equaling to 55 and 29. And this is equaling to 49 and the magical 23, which is going to be related to Mars. So this is your 82. Now, the thing with 20, okay, is we changed the whole word. This value over here is 107 and represents Earth. E-A-R-T, Earth's queen. And the reason for that is because 17 is queen, and we create it by the numeric value that equals to Earth and Earth's heart. He art. 5 by 2, 10. 5 plus 2, 7. We get it right there. So that's your 20. The word here in 2 is 58. The difference is 49. 49 and 58. But the difference between these two, okay, is 59. And the reason for that is 58. 58 and 58. 8 and 8, 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 5 and 5 is 10. So 58 and 58 equals 10, and 16 equals to 107. If you want to look at it that way. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 is Earth. B. Didn't want to mess this whole thing up. In the 2, okay, it's not like here. It went from TW, TW, and then you have NT, entity, 43, DC. And DC is how it's all created. Here is your D. Note it is alpha, beta, gamma. And here is your C. And if you put them together, you end up with that. And AC, DC comes to mind. Eventually, you create the moon through this and the spirit number 19. P and B for lead, 16 or 91, the spirit, 20. Where Earth's heart comes in. Lead, numeric value, 22. Reverse value is the house, 108. Split by the 7th gate. Lead, 207 to the vibration of the birth of the Christ. And I always call this the Christ energy. I don't know why. And it's a gateway. And it's also the Christ vibration because there's a radio station near me. And if God gave us the word through every single individual that was on earth, we all have to learn something in our own way. And this is what I've learned in my own way. And it's creation of man, CHEM, FM, 613, the law. 613 laws of Moses. There's FM, there's AM, there's PM. There's FM, there's AM, there's PM. Notice the way I slipped in the AM, PM. AM, PM, FM radio, and then there's AM radio, and then there's morning, and then there's night. So I slipped this in. The 97 is your birth. 9 by 7 is 63. And 9 plus 7 is 16. The half-life birth. The total is 79. You minus it, it becomes 47. Cycle of time, Jesus. So these two revert back into each other between Christ and Jesus. I am, I have, and I am. So that's my lead point of view. It also stands for V for life, okay, and birth in the sun. When you have this together, you'll recreate the word Laud, which will now be 364. Pretty funny. Just so happens to work out for the 91. 91, 13 times 7. 13 cards times 7. Or how about 1 added to 13 equals to 91. You add it to 12, it equals to 78. You add it to 11, it equals to 66. And that's the woman. And that's the freedom. You do it again to 10, and boom, you have freedom 55, because when you add 1 over to 10, you get 55. So you get the woman of freedom. In the spirit of 76. The church and the half-life. Over here. So this is this scenario. 13 cards in the deck. 3 and 1 equals to 4 and 7, or Jesus and the spirit of man. 13 is that man. That's the numeric value. Gives us the cycle of the moon. AU is gold. We didn't finish off with L being 21, and the reason for that is I just showed you that 1 and 2 is 3 C, and the cap 2 and 2 is 4D, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. We double it up to see each level. It'll then be 2 4, then it'll be 3 6. We're just doubling up 12, taking it to another level, and I do this according to the vibration. The vibration says 2 3 and 4. The reverse of that, we're not going to get into it. So the L, how does the L become the I9? First of all, in the card 3, it's 3 individual dots, and it's right down the center, and it already creates the result in the I. That's number 1. To build it, it becomes CD to create A. And since A is relevant in I, and here's your A right over here. Here is your A. Here is your D. That's your AD. This will tell you above and below, creating automatic your C for the 3 levels. Whichever way you want to design this design over here, splitting the one center or the half-life. That's why I call it the half-life, whether it's the cards, whether it's the dice cube, whichever way you want to go, whether it's the cards or the dice cube, in which they're always still telling you that the 7 talks about a single moon. The 6 talks about no moons. And the 8 talks about 2 moons. I'm not going to give you the 9, that gives you your birth cycle. And if you stare at these long enough or place them next to each other, eventually you'll start to create realities in here. Maybe the snowman. I don't know. Thank you, Jamie. Altered Images Oklahoma Tattoo Parlor. So this is what happens, and this is one of the things I was talking about, where this same design for L and I come together. If you've just walked into this video and still nobody is here, why number 12 is also with the relationship to the letter I. And what's funny about that is that 3 and 9 equals to the 12, and it says the sky. The heavens and the sky coming from the birth. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video. And if you take a look on the screen, there's only one person. Thank you. I'll be back later if you ask me.